Now, honoring the strength of the Cross Plains community a year after disastrous flooding. And hundreds of students will be walking into the classroom with a brand new free haircut, all thanks to local barbers. Plus, saying goodbye to a Wisconsin church with a lot of history, why it's set to be demolished.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. It's been a year since devastating flooding hit our area, including the village of Cross Plains. That community is using the anniversary as a way to celebrate. Madeline O'Neill tells us why.
Amanda, flooding took a huge toll on Cross Plains. It destroyed a few houses and even some emergency equipment. It's a day the community won't forget, but instead of lamenting the anniversary, they're applauding the strength it took to survive.
It was a nightmare. I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
That type of rain and that type of water was just, it was unbelievable.
In August 2018,
I lived in this community all my life and never seen anything come close to that.
Unforgettable tragedy brought this Cross Plains community together.
I get a little emotional at times.
Gee, you know, the neighbor said, boy, what a way to meet my neighbors.
Now, a year later, they're united by a celebration.
Crazy. It doesn't seem like it was that long.
For resident Heather Hayes, the historic flooding feels like yesterday.
We lost everything because it was 4.5 feet.
4.5 feet of water in her family's home made it feel like she was swimming against the current.
You just kind of get in survival mode.
With the help of friends, family, and neighbors, this community is proud to say they survived.
The celebration of we survived the flood 1 year later.
Pat Andrioni was village president at the time of the flood and knows the massive efforts that went into getting everyone back afloat.
That's why I thought we should have a day like today to thank everybody.
My head, yeah, was, for a while there, was spinning pretty good.
On the night of the flooding, Cross Plains Fire Chief Dale Lochner says crews responded to about 120 incident calls.
We do 120 incidents a year typically, so we did a year's worth of calls in one night.
Calls like water rescues, including a woman trapped on top of her car for about an hour. A resident's military vehicle was put to good use.
We had a lot of different heroes that night.
The celebration is a way to say this.
Thank you very much. It is very much a nightmare.
To all who have stuck together in good times and bad.
It's just the community was amazing. You can't do it by yourself, obviously.
Today's event at the American Legion was completely free with the opportunity to donate to recovery funds. While Cross Plains officials say they've come a long way from last year, several residents are still feeling the flooding's effects.
Definitely a strong community. Thank you so much, Maddie.
You're welcome.
Let's turn it over to Dana Fulton with your first alert forecast. We do have some rain on the way, Dana, right?
We do, and even right now, actually, we do have a few showers moving through for us. A little bit of a cloudy sky tonight and also a few isolated raindrops falling right now. So as we look at our Doppler track, there are a few showers again on the eastern edge of Dane County, stretching into Rock County as well. Most of the heavier rainfall is down in northern Illinois. Temperature-wise, we're in a very comfortable spot tonight, about 66 in Madison, 64 in Watertown, and 16 towards Viroqua. Compared to this time yesterday, it is just a little bit warmer outside. That's thanks to a mostly cloudy sky right now. We won't drop nearly as much. Dew points, mid to upper 50s, close to 60, a little more humid outside. We pretty mild to start the day tomorrow, but then we do have the chance for showers and thunderstorms to develop throughout the afternoon and evening. We'll take a closer look at what's ahead, though, for your full work week in just a few minutes. Amanda?
Thank you, Dana. More local news now. A 44-year-old Milton man is dead after his motorcycle crashed into a car in McFarland. McFarland police say they were called to the crash on Highway 51 at Sigelcow Road just before 11:30 this morning. They found the motorcycle driver on the ground. Officials say cars were slowing down for a crane walking across the highway, and the motorcycle driver couldn't stop in time and rear-ended the car in front of him. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. That crash is still under investigation. Another motorcyclist has severe head injuries after a crash in Madison last night. Police responded to the crash on Aberg and Packers Avenues around 9:20. Officials say a 41-year-old man was riding his motorcycle on Aberg Avenue when a woman pulled out her car in front of him. The crash threw the motorcyclist over the car. He was taken to the hospital for severe head injuries. The driver was arrested for OWI, causing great bodily harm. That crash is also under investigation. Madison police are searching for a man who they say robbed a gas station early this morning, then fired a gun outside. It happened at the Speedway on Verona Road just after 5 this morning. Police say the man pulled out a handgun and robbed the clerk at gunpoint, took the cash and ran outside, then fired a round from the gun. The clerk wasn't injured and there was no property damage. A K-9 tried to track the robber but could not find him. He's described as 5'6", last seen wearing a dark hoodie and blue jeans with a handkerchief over his face. A new Iwo Jima memorial now has a home in our area. The Northside VFW hosted veterans and their families today to remember those members of the U.S. Marines and Navy who gave their lives in Operation Detachment during World War II. Connie Allren, a Madison native who served in the Marines from 1942 to 1944 as an air traffic controller, and Carl Kleeman, who served in the Army from 1943 to 46, appeared at today's dedication. Since access to Iwo Jima is restricted mainly to those attending memorial services for fallen soldiers, some veterans today dropped sand on the monument to bring a piece of the island to Madison. Local students are counting down the summer vacation days, getting ready to head back to the classroom, many with a fresh new haircut for free. This was Barber JP's vision, pulling off the event for the 4th year in a row. It's grown from a small event in his shop, JP Hair Designs, to now taking up the Alliant Energy Center. Last year, they did 550 haircuts for kids from kindergarten to high school. This year, their goal is 1,000, with more than 40 barbers stepping up to help.
And he worked with all of the local barbers, actually from as far as Watertown to Dane County in itself, to provide the free haircuts. And people have been willing to give of their time, and it's the coolest event going, I'd like to think.
The Madison Metropolitan School District was on hand, giving each kid a free book to read as they wait. There are also 2 scholarships being given out this year, named after Taylor Smitty Smith, Madison's first African-American barber. Around the state, a 161-year-old church building in Pewaukee held its last services today before it might be demolished. Agape Community Church used the St. Mary's Church building for years, but now there are plans to build a senior living community there. The church was built in 1858, and members say they will have memories left inside.
My wife's family was part of this for more than 50 years. Her sisters grew up here. Her sisters got married here. We have individuals that remember as children walking through these doors.
The founders of our village and our community built this church. I mean, it's the heart of our community. It really is.
Capri Senior Communities plans to show designs to the city to build 4-story condos on this site. Agape Community Church tried to purchase the St. Mary's building, but was unsuccessful, as were efforts to put the building on the National and State Register of Historic Places. Conservative radio host and former Illinois Representative Joe Walsh will challenge President Trump for the Republican presidential nomination in 2020.
No surprise, we've got a guy in the White House who's unfit, completely unfit, to be president. And it stuns me that nobody stepped up for president.
Walsh last week published an op-ed in the New York Times apologizing for helping elect the president. In that article, he called Trump a, quote, unfit con man who's bad for the country. Walsh has a history of making headlines with incendiary remarks. Meanwhile, the White House suggested today that President Trump is prepared to double down on his trade war with China. Trump is at the G7 summit in France and says he had doubts about the strategy, but officials quickly clarified that his only regret is that he hasn't been tougher.
For sure, why not? Might as well. Might as well.
You have second thoughts about escalating the war with China?
I have second thoughts about everything.
Today, all 7 world leaders met for a session on the global economy called for by President Trump. A senior administration official says the White House feels French President Emmanuel Macron is spending too much time on topics such as climate change and gender equality to score political points and isolate the president. An update to a story we brought you yesterday. A suspect has been charged in the shooting death of Illinois State Trooper Nick Hopkins. East St. Louis resident Christopher Grant is facing first-degree murder. He's being held on a $5 million bond. Hopkins was shot and killed while serving a warrant early Friday morning. He died Friday afternoon at the hospital. An Illinois State Patrol official says Hopkins' organs will be donated and help as many as 40 people. Coming up on News 3 Now at 10, a local family is honoring their son 2 years after his passing by celebrating the things he loved. Welcome back. The second annual Paul-Palooza is fundraising for children with disabilities to have the equipment they need to have a fun life, all while celebrating Paul. Gabriella Becerra has more on how the legacy of this Wisconsin teen is being carried on after his death.
He just used his bright red hair and his wheelchair to open doors and charge through them and just get the most out of life.
After Paul died 2 years ago, his parents wanted to do something special. So they started Paul-Palooza, a celebration with everything Paul loved, food, music, and people.
We hope that everybody who's here who knew Paul will go, oh, that was something that Paul liked. Oh, he liked root beer. Oh, he liked mac and cheese. We tried to bring in his favorite things so that people will feel him here. But we also hope that people who didn't know him will go, gosh, this is a really cool event. Paul must have been a really cool kid, because he was.
The party is full of memories and stories that are shared about who Paul was.
When he got in the car to go home, I said, wait, I didn't get my hug. And so he got a hug and I love you. And that's my memory, the last I saw Paul.
And now Paul lives on, not only in memories.
Thank you.
Oh, boy.
But also through organ donation.
I might have never met him in person, but I know him. He's in here, so I have to know him.
Pat Hawley received Paul's heart.
I call them my heart family. And they are the best family that I could ask for.
Kelly Marcourt received Paul's kidney and pancreas.
Someone, a better person. I often now think of Paul saying, if you can be anything, be kind.
It's really heartwarming and gratifying to know that we helped those families out and Paul helped those families out. And it's been a really special bond.
And now they're helping other families of children with disabilities. All funds raised today will go to Paul's Party, a charity created in his honor.
Everything's more expensive for a child with a special need. And so we think just because you have a disability, you shouldn't miss out on the fun part of life.
His parents say Paul changed the way they see life.
He kind of taught us how to tolerate things, how to get through hard things.
How to appreciate the good times when you have them.
Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
Paul passed away 2 years ago from spina bifida. If you would like to donate to Paul's Party, we have a link on our website, channel3000.com. How far can you punt a football? Kids were invited to see as they raised money for cancer research today. It was the punt pass kick competition at James Madison Memorial High School. Kids ages 6 to 13 had to punt, pass, and kick a football as far as possible to win prizes. But it wasn't all about the competition. Former Badger and NFL player Tarek Saleh was there to greet kids and sign autographs, all to raise money for the Star Children's Fund, which raises money for pediatric cancer research and care.
There's so many kids affected by it, and you know, it's something we as a community want to get together and fight back and give those kids a chance.
Prizes included Cousin Subs gift cards for each age group. Prizes were also given out to top fundraisers ahead of this event. Let's get a look at your first alert weather with Dana Fulton. Dana, I think we should get those umbrellas out ready.
Yes. Get them ready for the start of the work week. You'll probably need them at some point tomorrow as scattered showers and thunderstorms just continue to move on in. Now, right now, looking at our Doppler track, it's mostly cloudy outside, and we do have a few light showers on the eastern edge of Dane County, parts of Rock and Walworth County. Also dealing with rain right now. Today, we only hit a high of 75, a little below average. Not too bad this afternoon, though. We started the day off in the upper 50s. We won't fall nearly as much tonight as we do have that mostly cloudy sky and some warmer air in front of this cold front that's going to continue to drive east. Right now, bringing some very strong thunderstorms through the Dakotas and into parts of Minnesota. And we'll look at those showers get a little closer in the morning. We have a few showers coming through in the morning, but the main line, that cold front, comes through late in the evening with some storms building in later on in the day for Monday. The good news passes through pretty quickly, and that gives us sunshine by Tuesday afternoon. So early on Monday, we may see a few light showers, but that main line is going to drive through late in the day. Behind it, we get a nice clearing sky, mostly sunny by Tuesday afternoon, a breeze from the west, keeping us fairly clear. It does seem like there may be a slight chance for showers in central Wisconsin, but that rain likely not going to dip further down for us. By Wednesday, we're looking at a partly sunny sky, but a really pleasant stretch for the rest of the work week. There is a marginal risk for a strong thunderstorm tomorrow, severe thunderstorm, mainly in the evening when we do have those heavier rainfall times. Could slide through with a few thunderstorm chances. The good news, really no flooding concern. We aren't looking at a lot of accumulation with this event. It's not going to bring too much rain for us, and the ground right now is pretty dry. We've had a nice stretch of dry weather before this rain coming through for tonight and tomorrow. Overnight temperatures will fall to the low 60s, close to 60 in Madison. So again, not as cool as we were this morning because it is so cloudy outside. Shower chances seem to be favored towards the eastern edge early in the day, and then of course in the evening, looking at that chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms across the state. By Tuesday morning, there is going to be a slight chance for a lingering shower, but in the afternoon, we steadily become mostly sunny. There is that chance for a little wraparound shower moisture for central Wisconsin, but it really doesn't seem likely that it's going to dip further south. Temperatures overnight will fall through the 60s. Our breeze stays pretty calm, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour from the southeast right now. Mostly cloudy sky. We do still have that slight chance to see a few more showers come through overnight. Tomorrow, though, of course, the better chance for showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy sky when it's not raining for your Monday. Temperatures in the afternoon will be in the upper 70s, so a really seasonal day for our temps. Just not really pleasant outside, unfortunately, without the sunshine. Tuesday, we're back in the upper 70s with a slight chance for a shower early in the day. Sunshine coming through later on, and then the cooler air really arrives by Wednesday. And we get to enjoy it for quite some time. It'll be in the mid to low 70s for afternoon highs through the rest of the work week and into Labor Day weekend. Partly sunny skies through the rest of the work week. And then as we look ahead again to Labor Day weekend, it's going to be really pleasant right now. All 3 days look nice and sunny. And it doesn't seem like we have any more moisture moving on in by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Temperature-wise, also, it's a little below average stretching in through August, and even looking in that 8 to 14-day outlook to the start of September, it does seem like we could be in a bit of a cooler stretch for September.
Yeah, that's some good news if you like that. And after that Monday, all that sunshine there, so that's good.
Yes, a little bit of rain, some lighter showers, and of course, right now the ground that is so dry, some light showers wouldn't be a bad thing either.
All right, thank you so much. The Brewers go for the series sweep against the Diamondbacks. Highlights next in sports.
Well, as expected, Jack Cohn has been named starting quarterback of the Badgers to start the 2019 season. Chase Wolf and Graham Mertz both listed as number 2 guys to back Cohn up. Now, head coach Paul Chryst said all throughout fall camp that it was a very competitive battle, but Cohn was the one with the most game experience. He played in 5 games last season, starting 4 of them. So that, plus exemplifying characteristics of a leader, well, that made the difference.
Reaching out and talking to new people, and like whether it's just sitting at the lunch table with someone new each day or just hanging out with someone outside of football. I mean, everyone's got a cool story, and it's just cool meeting new people.
He's got a better understanding, I think, of himself, of our offense, of what teams are doing, and I like the progress he's made, and I do. I think that group as a whole had a good camp.
The Packers also making some moves this morning, signing linebacker James Folston and cornerback Jaquiz Khalil, both hitting the practice field right away today as the Packers get ready for their final preseason tune-up on Thursday night when they host the Chiefs. But the team also releasing Josh Jones this morning. He made the announcement himself around 7 o'clock on Twitter. Jones was a second-round pick in 2017, but made it known about 3 months ago that he wanted out of Green Bay. He was inconsistently in and out of the first team during his time with the Packers. Meanwhile, head coach Matt LaFleur getting ready for the last week of preseason.
You know, we're very intentional about charting the number of reps our guys are getting throughout practices and making sure they're getting the necessary work. So we feel good about where they are at, and, you know, they'll be ready to go week 1.
Man, the Brewers pitching staff just cannot catch a break. They can't seem to stay healthy this season. Jeremy Jeffress being the latest victim. He's on the injured list now with a strained left hip. It's been a tough 2019 for him overall. In his place on the roster now is Ray Black, a right-handed pitcher who the Brewers got from the Giants right before the trade deadline. Series finale against Arizona this afternoon. We pick it up in the 4th. Brewers down 2-0. Eduardo Escobar adding to that lead with a home run to center field. Diamondbacks 3-0 Diamondbacks. Brewers get one back in the 7th, though. Manny Pena with a solo shot to left, but the Brewers cannot get the sweep. They lose 5-2 the final. They'll host the Cardinals tomorrow night with Gio Gonzalez starting on the mound. The Cubs, meanwhile, trying to avoid getting swept by the Nationals at Wrigley Field. We pick it up here in the 8th. Washington up 5-3. Kyle Schwarber with the 2-run home run, bringing Javi Baez in with him. Tie game at 5. Stayed that way, so extra innings, and the Nationals scoring 2 runs in the 11th. Cubs lose 7-5. Finally tonight, this is some next level stuff that happens where else but Florida. That's professional wakeboarder Seal Lafferty playing golf in Orlando this weekend when a 7-foot alligator just casually strolls by, going about his day. No big deal. Well, Lafferty hits his approach shot. He's still playing. He posted this video to Instagram saying, "Golfing in Florida is just a little different." I don't know if I would have kept on. Yeah, I don't know if I would have kept on playing golf. I probably would have run the other way. But he's just like, cool, whatever.
And it went in?
I don't know how he played after that. I don't even. There's no way I would have. Yeah, no,
and
same. And maybe
frozen.
I'm not the greatest golfer. I might hit the gator too, which would probably
make him angry.
Really bad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thanks. We'll be right back. So we have some rain moving in, but after that, it looks like a lot of sunshine.
It'll be really pleasant once we get through this system. Now, right now, we do have a few isolated light showers. There's going to be a slight chance for some showers and thunderstorms overnight. Most of the rain comes through tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then there will be another slight chance for a lingering shower or two on Tuesday. Otherwise, Tuesday will also be in the upper 70s. Our skies will steadily clear, and then we're looking at partly sunny skies through the rest of the work week. Mid to low 70s for afternoon highs. A really nice stretch of dry weather. Labor Day weekend right now also looks nice and dry. Temperatures should be pretty comfortable. Notice temperatures will stay below average as we look towards the end of August.
All right, good news. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.